Alrighty, without further ado, here in the bottom right hand corner of the map, playing as the blue Terran pieces, give it up, it is TY. And in the top left, in the red, playing as the Protoss pieces, give it up, it is ZEST. Alright, so as we get into this series, I'm excited. I mean, TY has definitely been showing some strong plays. ZEST, though, has seemed to figure out some of these strategies, right? We've seen TY go for the Hellion with the Widow Mines. We've seen him go for these like mass marine style pushes. And ZEST has seemed to handle them very, very well, at least against innovation. Now, TY is a beast onto his own, so I'm excited to see how ZEST handles that. But ZEST himself has been really, really good. We've seen these really great Zealot run bys. We've seen him just in that last kind of series do some good stuff with the disruptors and really kind of shut things down. So let's find out what ends up happening. ZEST going to be taking his Nexus, as we do see TY looking to take his command center there. We do have a pause, so we'll go ahead and take a break for just a second as we get in that. During the break, I gotta be honest. Oh, looks like we're having some problems with ZEST. Looks like he might have dropped. There we go. So, okay, cool. But you know, you're getting old. The 12th was my birthday, and so let's go ahead and jump in and I'll finish my story there. There we go. But no, so you know, when you're getting older, when your birthdays come around, and instead of getting presents, instead of getting money, everybody just gives you cake. Just like I ended up going to my mom's, and we ended up getting a cake from there. My dad gave me a cake. We went to a casino, and instead of like free play, they gave you cake. It was really weird. So now my refrigerator is just full of cake, and then I bought myself a cake because you know, no one's gonna give me a cake. But we're gonna see who takes the cake in this series, and you know, ZEST was having some lag there, but seems like everything is okay now. Seems like everything is gonna be all right. He's gonna send across an adept with this, and just keep the pressure. But with the marine out and everything, shouldn't be too bad. And it's gonna be this Hellion mine drop kind of style coming out from TY. ZEST, does he actually see this though? Yeah, he's gonna see the Hellions. So he has an idea that it could be that mine style, especially since it seems like a lot of the Terrans are starting to do that. Blink on the way. And yeah, I mean, TY gonna try to pop in with the Hellions, and already we see, you know, with the blink, with stalkers coming through, he should be okay. Now the question does become, does TY just go into the natural? Does he want to shoot for the main? Looks like he's gonna head towards the natural though. And already we see ZEST trying to send across the adept shade to see the timing of TY coming, because he is expecting this. There's no question about it. Alright, yeah, throwing down the pylon. Gonna come straight into the natural. Already those stalkers are in place. We are gonna see the drop come through. Able to kill off 2 probes, not too bad. And I mean, he's even gonna send across the mines. Very nice. Yep, gets another 2 kills. That's gonna be about it. He does come in with the Hellions to get automatically surrounded with Blink finishing up. TY just not able to get the damage done. And really Zest just showing his strength as he's going to push across now with the Zealot, or excuse me, the Stalkers, and also the single Adept. He has the War Prism available, and really it's like, you know, Zest, or excuse me, TY doesn't have a whole lot. He does have a tank and he has some Marines and a mine, so I guess that's something. He's gonna have the Raven out as well. Ooh, gets right on top of the tank. The mines already detonated onto the War Prism. Comes in with this Raven. We'll push this back. Yeah, not too bad. Gonna warp in a couple of more Stalkers behind this. And, I mean, he's trying to micro around the best he can with the Marines and the medevac, but GG. And Zest's gonna take game number 1. Like that. So GG's. Not too bad. Just to give a reference, game number 1 was Romanticide. Number 2 going to be on Jagannatha. Third is going to be on Submarine. Fourth will be on Lightshade. Fifth will be Pillars of Gold. Sixth will be Death Aura, and seventh will be Oxide. So should be good. Will we get a 7-game series? Maybe. Zest, though, just being very dominant, especially in the PvT meta. It feels like he's got it figured out. As long as he knows what to scout, he's really, really good. So let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. Let's see if TY can change things up. All right. Here in the the top right-hand corner of the map. Keep it up for the Terran. It is TY. Said his name was Jagannatha. And in the bottom left, in the red, it's the Protoss. It is Zest. All right. So Zest able to read that pretty well. And we'll see here in game number 2 what TY wants to do. We've seen him go for aggression on this map, I believe. Really likes that 3 racks play. And we'll see, does he want to go into maybe something like that? Again, it's kind of like the situation we saw in the previous series with Innovation, where try to go for the more like aggressive play. We've seen Zest go into Stargate on this map. Now, TY was paying attention or watching. Maybe he picks up on this. It's okay, maybe that's what he's going to go on this map. But we'll see. It's going to be a Marine first. Cybernetics core coming out from Zest. And these spins are going to go down. It is a little sideways, so he will have to probably lift it up, but at least he's able to get it down and start building. Marine going to give chase. We'll see. It's going to be a factory follow-up, so not going to be the 3 racks that we've been seeing. Do we go into another Widowmine drop? I mean, it's very possible. There's going to be Marines to open up with this, and it's going to be that Stargate play again. No bunker yet for TY, but he is going to go ahead and send out the Marines a little bit. Just kind of scout and see, is there anything he needs to worry about? Now, there's no proxies across the map. There's nothing too crazy, and we do see the Adept coming in for Zest now. Yep, not able to get in, and it's going to be Hellions and then Widowmine follow-up. So it looks like it's going to be very similar to game number 1, except for the kind of how things are changed around, I guess. Oracle does see this and is going to start flying across the map. It's going to be Marine and Hellions to pressure the front. Now, because ZEST went for this Oracle opening, he doesn't have a whole lot of defense at home. Oracle is going to fall down, and we do see TY eventually kind of pushing back with the help of the shield battery. Just not going to be able to get too much done as the second Oracle does pop out. Going to fly straight across the map as a Widowmine drop is on the horizon. And yeah, I mean, TY doesn't have a whole lot at home. He is going to throw down a bunker, however. Add on some more medevacs, gets a Revelate off, and yeah, not too worried. Widowmine doing a pretty good job here. It will actually be taken out. We see him dropping into the main base. Yeah, only able to get 2 kills. But is going to send across for another Widowmine drop. Interesting. Because he has that armory, does actually hide the Widowmine still. Interesting. TY coming in with another medevac. Yeah, just not able to get anything done, unfortunately. Medevac's gonna go down. We see another drop come in, but already the soccer is in position. Hellbat's gonna come down as well as another mine, but the Phoenix even playing into this. Yeah, just craziness. Do you have the Marine coming through? Widowmine's going to be reburrowed. And I don't know. I mean, ZEST just holding this off so well. As it really feels like TY is just trying to go into this like mass Widowmine style. He's adding on additional barracks. He's got a 3rd base on the way. It's actually already done. 3rd base is here for ZEST. And yeah, I mean, ZEST just holding that off just perfectly. Alrighty, so TY is going to finally push out with his 3rd base. He does have Widowmines everywhere, and that's kind of an interesting concept of just having some vision as well as having the potential to kind of surprise your opponent, right? He does scan, sees the timing there of the 3rd base, and you know, looks like he might start pushing across soon. He does have +1 on the way. But what does ZEST really want to do behind this? He's going to add on 4 more gates, adding on some sentries, and just getting blink. There we go. Looks like he might push across here. Try to get a little bit of damage done. Does actually see the Marines, and is going to be forced back. Gets the Revelate off. Really, what can he do besides this? It does look like TY wants to push. Oh, he gets the Raven. Oh, that's huge. Loses an Oracle though, so is not good at all. Robotics facility is on the way. Actually about finished up. We should start seeing some immortals. He's got +1. Almost done. There we go. Finally getting that third base up and running. I like what he does with the depots here, and this is going to allow a little bit of breathing room for TY if there is like a big zealot follow-up, which is what basically ZEST is doing here. There's a Templar Archives on the way, so eventually storms are going to come and play, and that's when it gets really tough here for TY. But I mean, he's very heavy into the marine count. He's got a couple of mines to buffer on, but I mean, he's just not a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, we do see another drop coming out from TY as he starts pushing down towards his fourth base location. Does get the probe, so I guess that's okay. And here we go. Guardian Shield does go down. Widowmine's going to burrow, but they do have Revelate on them, so they're going to be seen pretty easily. And with the Observer as well. Ghosts are into play though, so he needs to be careful. Storm almost done. War Prism is there as well. That Immortal just standing on its own. Why the Immortal? Alrighty, there we go. High Templar are in the War Prism as it looks like ZEST is ready to attack now. I'm going to start moving across the map. Same time, we do see TY looking around to taking another base. Trying to find a good concave. And yeah, I mean, TY gonna push this back for the time being. High Templar though, he's gotta be careful here. Beautiful EMPs go off. Storms do go off as well. Actually hitting off a lot of the army here. The Zealots finally starting to get on top of the infantry. Some more good storms do go down, but not going to be enough. CTY giving chase. Force fields do go out. Guardian Shield's going to go off as well. And ZEST just kind of back and forth right now with TY. He can't really push too much with those Widow Mines in place. He has to be super careful. But ZEST doing a brilliant job of just trying to like kite this back essentially. Yeah, I mean, Widow Mines are going to burrow. Only get a couple of Zealots. We do see TY pushing once more. Going for another Widow Mine drop. I mean, TY gonna start pushing in towards the natural base here. We do see a nice little Zealot run by, but it's actually gonna get scouted by TY, so he should be okay in scouting. He was gonna go towards the main base, but seeing the Zealots, I guess decides not to. EMP does go down on just a couple of the Zealots. Will be forced back. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think going into the main would be a good idea here for TY. He's going to go ahead and Revelate, get on top of the mines. ZEST, I mean, just looking to... close this down, but it looks like TY going to be going into the main base. He is going to drop, has those mines available, but ZEST just going to go straight across the map. Says, okay, let's do it. Another attack coming down to the third base as ZEST's army is going to keep pushing into the natural, into the main. There is some units waiting, but blinking on top of it. ZEST's going to be more than okay with that. TY, though, going to be able to take care of the third base, the main base. All of the infrastructure here for ZEST is starting to fall. TY, is he able to hold on to this, though? He's going to pick up all of his barracks and everything, trying to get on top of it. Scattering every 27 SCVs, 28 SCVs have fallen to the 20 of ZEST as he's continuing to work onto those three bases. The probes going up towards this top base, but already we see TY mining from here. Probes just going everywhere. TY trying to get on top of everything as the natural. There's only one base left here for the Protoss, but with the mines not going to have as much damage done, and now both players just frantically trying to kill the other. SCV is going to be going down. I mean, both players are back onto a one base play here. TY shutting down the probes, throwing down the Nexus as well. That's insane. Now ZEST looking to get on top of it. The Colossus going to get onto the beautiful. And yeah, now we're just in this crazy like base race. There we go. Beautiful MPs do go off as TY was looking to push into this, but with the charge slots coming through, the Colossus in the back, does look like TY might be struggling a little bit here. The Stalkers are going to be able to blink forward. Don't have a lot of shields though, but I think it's going to be just enough. And TY falling to that 40 supply. Only has 5 workers to the 9 of ZEST. GG, and ZEST takes the victory and will make it 2-0. Right, so game number 2 going to ZEST. ZEST just 2 wins away from winning it. But TY not looking that bad. We're gonna see if we can somehow make it. Now this is a shorter map. We're going into submarine, so we'll see. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that Marines versus Colossus is just not a good thing. I mean, TY trying to get on top of it before they can really do anything, but just not able to. So it's like we're just waiting for them. Should be good. All right. ZEST telling TY good effort, and of course TY saying thanks. So alrighty, let's get it. Game number 3 gunning down now. It is on submarine, so maybe we see something crazy here. TY maybe gonna pull a proxy Rax, maybe you just try to get a victory, try to start throwing it into his favor. But let's find out. Here we go. In the top left, in the blue, is TY. And in the bottom right, oh my goodness, in the bottom right, in the red, it is ZEST. Oh goodness. Alrighty, so Submarine, once again, is the next map. And, I mean, ZEST is playing really, really well, even in the base trade. Showing himself strong. He still had that one base. The second base was about to form in where he had just killed off one of TY's army, TY's last base. So we'll see if this happens again. I mean, both players have kind of gotten into this base race situation multiple times. This time ZEST not really going across. It's not going to be annoying. It looks like he is going to take an expansion, however. It doesn't look like TY going to proxy or anything crazy like that either, so just going to send across an SEV. Let's get some scouting information and say, hey, are you going to get aggressive on me? Are you going to be... What are you looking to do here? Right. Now, looked like ZEST was going to go into a Stargate play. Decides to go into gas, so maybe changing his mind. Trying to think, like, if you're in TY's position, like, what can you really do better? I think the biggest thing that match was he wasted so much money into these mines trying to get damage done that he wasn't able to, I guess, really do anything. It put him behind, and then when ZEST was finally able to come and counterattack, he just did not have the units. Alright, Reaper's going to be making their way across the map behind this. It's going to be that 3-rack setup. The adapts here for ZEST. Going to continue to put the pressure as they try to go up towards the main. Solid Council on the way. We do see TY just chilling out in the base. Wants to see kind of where things are going here for him as the double Reapers do come in. Not able to really get anything done. We go. Eventually gonna have to go out through the main into the natural, eventually probably down at the bottom, but finally able to get a couple of kills before being taken out. Behind us, it is going to be that mass marine style. We saw Innovation do this, and we've seen TY do it in the earlier series against Trap. ZEST has basically had figured out these builds, right? So we'll see if he can do it this time. It is going to be ZEST taking a third base pretty quickly. TY gonna go into this mass marine marauder style, eventually getting those medevacs. The biggest problem though with this style is it delays the factory and it delays that starport so late that makes it tough, especially if you aren't able to get the damage done with the initial attack. Marauders are on their way out. We do see the stem and combat shields almost finished up. +1 is on the way as well for the Terran. On the other side, those ZEST going into the blink play. He does have the factory, the forge being built, which will allow him to start getting upgrades of his own. He'll be able to get that +1 weapons and continue in on that. All right. And here we go. The Marines and Marauders starting to push across for TY. There's already a good number of units though here for ZEST, and oh, he's gonna scout this out with those adepts as well. There we go. Once again, going to be coming in here, but the Marines are stimming out here pretty good. A new warping of Stalkers. We'll eventually be able to push this back, and with the blink forward, I think he got a little over eager there, and TY eventually gets cleaned up, but able to do a little bit more damage than intended. Still though, losing all of those Marines and stuff, just not very good. So behind this, he is going to get more Marines. He's got Marauders on the way. +1 is about finished up, and he is going to be taking a third base behind this, so charge just now starting up for ZEST. So he does have that +1 almost done, throwing down a couple of cannons and just getting some defense. While behind this, we do see TY just continuing into standard play, basically. He does have medevacs on the way, which will allow him to finally start kind of getting some drops done and stuff like that. Alright. Lucid Phoenix going to scan out the army, and we do see ZEST just kind of sitting back for the moment. Getting a good sentry count. He's got some good stalkers, and he's finally got those zealots. Now, charge is almost done, and we do actually see the War Prism on the way, followed up by Templar Archives. So eventually he is going to get back into that storm. And we'll see. I mean, ZEST has definitely been playing strong this series. We'll see if he can keep it up here, as he is looking to finally start pushing across. This Marine will eventually see ZEST moving across as he blinks forward. Gonna go towards the third. Gets a cancel on one of the depots. Guardian Shield goes down. Force fields as well. And these zealots trying to get on top of the army will eventually pull back as the force pickup does go down. TY going to eventually lose that CC. More warpins of these zealots are going to come in here as Stalkers trying to get on top of everything. Last sentry does go down. Going to force a recall, but TY taking a really good engagement there, cleaning that up, and now looking to go back across the map for a counterattack. He is going to pick up the Widow Mines and try to go for a drop into the natural. But at the same time, we do see ZEST with a couple of yeah, unfortunate there. The Zealot gonna force a pickup, and we do actually see TY returning back home. Okay, now he's gonna go back across. And yeah, ZEST, I just, this time I don't think he has the numbers. He does have Storm on the way, but they're not gonna be nowhere finished. The Zealot's gonna get on top of everything and be a meat shield here, but Overcharge going to help kind of push him back, as the observers will at least be able to see where the Marines are. The War Prism still in an okay position, and we do see TY just now roaming the map, trying to find damage wherever he can. Alright, War Prism finally going to return home, and it does look like TY wants to push once again. it's been kind of interesting. He pushes a little bit, and then he just kind of shuts, not shuts down, but he just, well, he moves back. Definitely not wanting to lose 3-0 here. But it does look like ZEST ready for another attack. Gonna start moving across the map. Oh no, the Widowmine. Oh! Picks off the Warp Prism. And this attack over before it even starts. And now it's TY's opportunity to start pushing across the map to counter on this. A couple force fields go down, separating a little bit of the Terran army from the main army. And Zest's gonna go around, but it looks like TY has his own little plan here. Looked like Zest was gonna just go ahead and start pushing across, but it's gonna return back home. Same time, gonna get totally surrounded by the Zealots. Stalker's gonna blink on top of the Medivacs. We'll push that across. A single force field does go down. Widowmine's going out everywhere, but it looks like he might just have enough here to hold this off. We will see TY pushing back once again. Widowmine's going down. Zealots coming through once again. And this time looks like Zest just getting a little overeager of himself. Alrighty. Zest is making 2 immortals at a time. He does have +3 on the way. Seems that way for TY as well. As he has his own +3. He does have Ghost on the way. Robotics Bay coming down as well, so definitely looks like Zest wants to go into either Colossus or Disruptors, or maybe both. TY definitely playing it very carefully, doesn't want to just overextend. He does know that the High Templar are there, and now Storm is very much a threat, so even though TY is ahead, he still has to worry about the threat of those storms. Both players just going back and forth at this point. But as time goes on, this does give Zest an opportunity to kind of regain himself here. TY pushing down to the bottom of the map. Looks like he's going to go for this third base location. And it really kind of puts Zest into this like defensive posture. Linking back, it looks like TY gonna start pushing in onto the third base. The storms will be there, and will at least push TY back to regroup at least. Finally, some Archon's gonna be coming out. Gravatic boosts. It's going to be finished up as we see another robotics facility coming through. Zest trying to defend this. At the same time, another attack coming in on the fourth base. EMP does go off. Zest able to hold this off, and these disruptors could be the game changer here. We see Zest coming in now. Disruptor shots will be able to take care of the Widow Mines. Second disruptor shot looking to connect, does not though. Losing the disruptors. ZEST starting to fall apart here. And yeah, not going to be good enough. It does storm. Try to get on top of this, but yeah, I just don't see him making it out. EMPs are really good. Storms are okay. If ZEST somehow survives this, I'd be amazed. Very nice. A little bit of a counterattack at the same time. More disruptors are on the way. ZEST though below 100 supply. And the army of TY just looking to push across. TY is on 4 bases. He's going into Liberators. He's got Ghost. He's got Vikings as well. And yeah, just unfortunate, not able to make the connections. Does this give an opportunity here for ZEST? I mean, I don't know. It's like ZEST just doesn't have really the income resources to rebuild this army as quickly as TY is, right? And he's still floating pretty heavily. We do see, you know, a couple stalkers trying to cancel out this 4th or 5th base, but with it landing just makes it tougher for ZEST to really do anything. Couple of disruptors going to try to shoot off, but unable to finish it out. Gets 2 kills, nothing great. Does he really have 2 sensor towers? He does. That's hilarious. Apparently he needs double sensor towers for the extra protection. And yeah, I mean, ZEST's gonna try attack in a different area, and I think that's all he can really do. He can't engage TY. TY just playing a really good game so far. Beautiful EMPs do go off. Disruptor shots don't really make the connections. And we see TY just trying to find it in a good position. Liberators are going to siege up. The Zealot's going to get on top of a lot of the army here. Here come the Archons. Beautiful EMPs go off. ZEST just trying to push in for the final fight, but just not going to have enough. The Colossus do fall. The War Prism going to go down. EMPs and GG. And TY takes game number 3. There we go. All right, so game number 4 going to be coming down here in just a second. It is going to be on Lightshade. And I'm excited to see. I mean, TY definitely showing that he will be able to at least go toe-to-toe with ZEST. See, you know, can he tie things up here, or will ZEST pull ahead and get to match point? I mean, it's anybody's game at this point. Alrighty. Map is loading in. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 4. Let's see what happens. Alrighty, without further ado, here in the bottom right hand corner of the map, playing as the blue Terran pieces. Give it up, it is TY. And in the top left, in the red, playing as the Protoss pieces. Give it up, it is ZEST. Alright, so game number 4 coming through here. TY definitely getting himself in a position of, hey, I can win this, I can do this. And we'll see if in this next series, like, if he can somehow make a comeback from it. Alrighty, so TY going into the barracks first. We see ZEST is kind of going into that standard gateway. He's trying to harass and deal a lot of damage, but we'll see what he wants to go into in this next game. We've seen him go into Stargate. We've seen him go into Blink Stalkers. Really kind of is his thing, right? He's kind of like Zealot, Archon, Stalker, Blink plays. His storms have been really good. I think that's another thing too, though, is like TY's EMPs have just been killer this game. Alrighty, so depth first, coming out from ZEST. Still opens up the possibility of Stargate, which I think in this case for ZEST, that's like his Oracle plays really good. If he can catch TY off guard, it could be what he needs to secure a victory. And we see TY again going into this like 3 racks play. Right now it's just the 2nd racks, gonna be the 3rd racks there, and I think in this case it's okay. You know, he is denying the factory and stuff like that, but overall not too bad. There we go. So we'll see. Command center is going to be coming down. And behind this, it's going to be very similar to the previous game. I mean, it seems like this is kind of TY's build now. He just likes to get those double Reapers out, go across the map, and just keep the focus on the other side. He's going to send out a Marine. I think that was a little bit of a mistake there, but these Adepts just going to continue to harass as much as possible while the Reapers do go across the map. Forces a recall of the Reaper, or the Adepts, excuse me. Does get 3 3 probes. It's going to be DT Shrine. Oh my goodness, did he actually scout this out though? Yes, he's seen the DT Shrine. See the eBay already down, Stim on the way. It is going to be Marines. Behind this, we do see the robotics facility pumping out that War Prism. He is going to have missile turrets in time, though. Such a huge play there. Zest still continuing on to this. He does have combat shields. Stim on the way for the Terran as Zest just adding on more gateways, adding on some extra defense, and it looks like now TY wants to push across. He needs to deal the damage before it is too late. But here in the 3rd base location, Zest starting to warp in those DTs. Oh no. Okay, so he's just gonna go into Archons behind this. I think he's like, okay, it's already been scouted. Let me go ahead and just go into Archons and continue into this. So That looks like that's going to be the case. Reaper going to fly up to the top. Marine's going to be able to shut down. There we go. Going to be able to shut down the, at least production side of ZEST. Now there is still these couple of gateways down at the bottom, but for the most part going to be okay. The Adept's coming back to help. There is an Archon and a DT. And yeah, looks like ZEST going to be able to hold this off. TY coming in with the Reaper now. Just try to pick up whatever last he can before it dies. And more Marines coming out from TY. And that's really going to allow him to start getting up to the factory. Finally get down. The starport, so medevacs will eventually come into play. Now ZEST still has this DT shrine, and he will be able to use that at some point, right? Especially if they start getting into these base trade scenarios. He can throw down a couple of DTs, force out the scans, force out the multitasking from TY. The Marines are coming through here though for TY as he's just scouting around. Scan, sees the army. And yeah, ZEST coming in with the War Prism with those Archons. Gets a couple kills. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Behind this additional gateways, we do have Blink on the way. +1 as well. As well as Immortals as a follow-up. Third base on the way for TY. Additional barracks. Finally, those medevacs are coming through, which will allow, you know, once again these Marines to be a little bit more potent, have the stem available and stuff like that. So we'll see. War Prism going to be returned up to the top. These Marines really on a hunt though. It's the third base for ZEST is now coming up. And yeah, I mean, a really good job. TY definitely trying to take the precautions, but at the same time, he is being, I guess, like somewhat aggressive. You know, just really kind of going back and forth. He is going to get the Ghost Academy behind this. We do see the Vikings. And, you know, we see for the Protoss, he is going to get charged. War Prism going to come into the main base. Try to work on top of this, but the War Prism going to get shut down. Oh, barely gets one of the Archons out, but all of it goes down pretty easily. And yeah, I mean, ZEST had a really strong start, but now it seems like he's having some trouble here in game number 4. And that's one of the like really tough things, especially against a player like TY, is you start doing some of these same kind of builds, you know, or sometimes just things get guided out, and TY is just so good at adapting and making sure that he has what he needs. And that really kind of forced us to have to play on his toes a little bit too, going into the Archon drop. But I still think right now TY just can't fully engage this yet. He is at 81 army though, so he has a nice count. He has to be careful. The Immortals are going to be very dangerous. Actually, yeah, he should be more than okay. Especially with the Stalkers coming in. Storm on the way for the Protoss. He does have a new War Prism being made. And it looks like ZEST wants to go for a little bit of a sandwich here. Stemming forward are the Marines, the Marauders as well. The Stalkers kind of sitting in the back. Will eventually kind of blink forward to deal with this. And those Immortals dealing a lot of damage, but +2 on the way for ZEST. Behind all of this, Storm now is done. EMP's gonna go off onto the Immortals. Stalkers coming around as more reinforcements for the Terran do come out. Zest trying to push in here. A beautiful storm going to eliminate a good chunk of that army as Zest starts to push forward. He has to be careful though because of those Widow Mines, and that will give TY an opportunity to heal up, to get himself repositioned here, and we will start seeing more and more of these High Templar coming through. Another Warp Prism is having to be made, and yeah, I mean, TY will be able to kind of push back, regroup himself, get healed up, and then try again. Zest, I think, getting really good with those shots to give himself a little bit of breathing room. There's going to be some more observers coming out and all of that, and I'm doing pretty good, Zeiss. Hope you're doing well, man. There we go. Does look like Zest wants to move in for an attack. He wants to try to get the advantage of sneak here. And I think that's really going to be the key, is if he can get something done. But it looks like we might have ourselves another base race, as the Zealot's going to form in. A couple of those Widow Mines going to come in to deal some damage. Widow Mine does hit. Same time, it is actually going to force TY to come back home. Only able to kill off a couple of depots and a couple of SCVs. Same time, another attack. Storm does go down, separating things out here, as Zest trying to hold on, trying to get himself in an advantageous position. Another good storm does come off. And man, blinking forward, we do actually see another push. Also, Stalkers get in position. The Widow Mine's not getting the best connections, shutting down a lot of the healing power, as it looks like finally the Archons are going to make a little bit of hedgeway. The Zealots trying to push through. Reinforcements are coming in here through TY, but it looks like Zest still having a little bit of an advantage. A couple of EMPs will go off, not really get anything except for a single Immortal, but now Zest kind of running head toe. This is giving TY an opportunity to start picking off some of these units. High Templar are going to join this to be able to get a little bit more storms, so eventually right now it's just Zest trying to hold this off. Excuse me. TY eventually going to have to return back home, as a lot of the energy was used from the High Templar there to basically shut down the healing potential and make it a little bit more deadly for each stem of TY's. This will allow Zest to kind of come back into this, and we actually see him pull ahead in the worker count, as well as he is starting to get his army back together. He is on +2 with +3 on the way, but the big thing right now for Zest is dealing with the ghosts. The EMPs are really crucial here for Terran, as well as just stemming on top of this army. Now, there's only like a Widow Mine here with this army. In fact, altogether, he's only got, well, he's got 6 Widow Mines, so I guess that's okay. Another huge attack coming out here. Widow Mine shots going to be going down. A lot of the army, though, for the Terran is getting very low. The same could be said here for Zest. Looks like he will be able to clear out one side, but he really doesn't have any Zealots with this army, right? He's not. He's making more High Templar. Looks like finally he will get a couple of Zealots. But I think Zealots are going to be super crucial. It's going to allow him to have a little bit more of a buffer here. You know, we are starting to get a higher count of the Marauders. Actually going to be able to cancel off this 4th base, which is nice. Even kill out a couple of probes, or SCVs. But he has to be careful, right? He needs a good chunk of those Zealots. He's going to go heavier into the soccer count. Those Widow Mines going to be very crucial as well. You actually see Zest pulling back. He realizes he's in an okay spot, and with +3 finishing up, he should be more than okay. Now, I don't think he's necessarily in the lead. We definitely see TY playing to advantage of that, but one thing we gotta consider is this. Zest is in an economic lead. He's been on 4 bases for a while. Oh, beautiful Storm. Only gets a couple of kills, but damages a lot of these SCVs, which will allow him to come back in for another attack if he wants to. Actually, is going to recall that Warp Prism. Behind this, we have the Robotics Bay coming down to transition into Disruptors, transition into Colossus if he so chooses. A couple of good EMPs will go off, and it looks like TY wants to push into this again. Unfortunate, they're taking a lot of damage from these Widow Mines. Zest needs to be patient in this and actually loses that 4th base down at the bottom. Only losing like 4 probes though, so not terrible. Zest giving chase though as he takes another base up to the top. This does give TY an opportunity to keep pushing in. He has these Widow Mines in position. Can definitely move those up and start kind of like sieging them up, so to speak. Another EMP going to go off onto the Immortal. Puts out a lot of the healing as well. There's for Zest, so we're going to start seeing a lot of like low units. A little bit of a counterattack coming out from Zest. It's going to get kind of stopped from the reinforcements of TY. So he's trying to get a little bit of a wraparound. And there we have it. Still, this army up or down to the like 9 o'clock position, able to finally kind of clear everything out, but we have this huge attack coming towards the north. Widow Mines are going to burrow up. EMPs will go out onto the Immortals. Colossus have joined the field to help deal with a lot of them. The Marines. Storms go out as well, but there's just not enough. GG, and we'll see TY taking that game and tying things up 2-2 already. I know I'm kind of standing up, got a little bit of pump, so we're gonna sit down and relax in between those games. But a really good job from TY. There we go. Doing a good job of actually pushing, not overextending, pulling back, regaining his forces, trying to heal up a little bit, and then pushing back in. We saw him really kind of going back and forth more and more there. Zest looked like he was starting to claw his way back in, just could not do it. So GG's. Wait a second, same room. Oh, okay. All right, so waiting for TY as we get into the next game. It is going to be on Pillars of Gold. Guys, make sure if you haven't already to do the Matcherino. Just do !Matcherino and use the code the ITACPC5 to add 50 cents to the prize pool. They've also got some cool things. I think they have a replay pack on there of the whole circuit. It's only $10 and you get a lot of replays. Some good quality plays. So if you're looking to hone your skills, see what the pros are doing, do that, as well as get yourself a jersey. Those jerseys are pretty sick. I want to get one of the jackets as well. There we go. But money will go to the prize pool, and like I said, make sure you guys do the hey, where did that help contribute? It's currently at 80-10, but it can definitely get up more, so make sure you guys do that, please. There we go. All right, looks like we are finally getting it in the proper room. I think there was something going on with that, but make sure I add the code. Oh, okay, never mind. Codes have been used up, guys. Thank you so much. Sorry, I didn't realize the codes got used up there, so we are good indeed for that. But if you do want to add any donations to it or buy some of the stuff, definitely do that and help out. It's pretty cool. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the next series. It is going to be tied up. Let's see who gets in the lead now. Right, so there we go. Oh yeah, we're professionals here, folks. Without further ado, in the bottom left hand corner of the map, as the blue Terran pieces give it up, it is TY. And in the top right, in the red, it's the Protoss player known as ZEST. All right. There we go. Cool. So, game number 5 coming around. For both of these players have really been looking good. It does look like Zest's gonna fly across the map once again. Wants to get himself just some scouting information, see kind of what is going on. What's happening? Maybe be a little bit annoying. Does actually see that, you know, not a whole lot going on. Stealing some minerals. Now, I'm trying to think as we, you know, right now TY definitely is coming into game number 5 with a just a lot of momentum, right? He's won the last 2 games, and it seems like he's kind of adapted in a sense to what Zest likes to do. He's still been kind of going into this aggressive, like 3-rack style we've been seeing Terrans do, and it's working out, right? He recognizes that with the Stargate style, or even in some of these other cases, like last game, seeing the DT shrine potential and stuff like that, just realizing on the fly, hey, okay, this is my opportunity. I need to attack right now before that comes around. And it is going to be indeed a Stargate opener from ZEST. And TUI going into a 1-1-1 situation, essentially. We could see Hellions coming out from TY, going into that Widowmine style. It feels like he really has kind of foregone going into tanks this series. He has a couple of times, but overall, it hasn't been too bad. He's been mainly going into mines, and that seems to be helping, especially against a player like Zest that loves to go into that heavy like stalker composition. All right, more mines coming out. We do have the Marines as well, and that's a beautiful starport after the 100. We should see that come through. There we go. Yeah, nothing too crazy. First Oracle is on its way across the map for good old Zest, as he is looking to, you know, get some damage done. He wants to get those juicy SCVs. There is a mine. It is very low though, so he's got to be careful. he actually gets a big pick off there, as that's going to continue to wreak havoc. More mines are coming out though. Ooh, he could potentially sacrifice it on top of those. Chooses not to though. There we go. 3 kills and a little mine. Not terrible. Getting out alive. We do actually see TY flying across the map now with a handful of Marines to put on some pressure. Now, what does really ZEST have at home? He's got a couple of Adepts and a couple of Phoenix. So going into a huge Phoenix play here, we'll be able to shut down the drop potential, or at least push the drop back. Marines will land onto the 3rd base, and we will finally start seeing tanks coming through. We see Liberators on the way, as well as Marines. 3rd base for ZEST coming through. And it does look like TY wants to return back home, and you know, now it's kind of this mind game of, and ZEST, it's like, okay, now I gotta defend. He's gonna be coming in with an attack. I need to get these Phoenix out, put them into a position that I can shut down this drop. Whenever it's like, okay, I've done what I needed to, and it's kind of this like mind game situation. He has allowed ZEST to kind of like trick himself. I can go home, just build up my forces. I don't have to attack. It keeps the Oracle at home, and I don't have to worry about it too much. Now, Phoenix are out. He's going to keep adding on more and more Phoenix here. He is at a total of 6. He's got that Oracle as well. Revelate does go down. Sees that there's only a handful of Marines. Picking up onto the SCVs. Gets another 3 kills, picking up the Marines now. But with more Marines joining, we'll actually push this back. And very good job. ZEST's just not overextending. He's just coming in, pushing as much as possible, and then backs up. He gets the damage done. He's like, hey, I'll go ahead and back up. Liberator is coming in through for TY. We'll be able to pick off a couple of probes, but that's going to be about it. Definitely not worth it at all. All right. Nice. Red light going to be going down for TY, or on TY. As it is once again this very heavy Marine style. We see Zealots coming, or Charge, excuse me, coming through, as well as +1 for the Protoss. Marines will be able to push away the Oracle as it is getting very low, as well as some of those Phoenix are getting low as well. Stim on the way, +1 is on the way as well. And this time we actually see TY going into tanks. He's not going very heavy into the mines. He's still throwing those in there, but it does seem like maybe this time, because of how some of these platforms are, we'll see what ends up happening. Storm on the way for the Protoss, as we see 6 more gates being added on. ZEST definitely preparing for a big attack. Stim about done, as well as some more Liberators coming through for the Terran. Nice little Zealot run by coming as we see the Phoenix front. Now, ZEST has kind of abandoned this Phoenix idea. Doesn't look like he's going to go like mass Phoenix or anything like that, but there we go. Forge is almost done. +1 on the way as well. And there we go. It does look like ZEST wants to push in here. Already a really good force field, though. Storms do come out, actually hitting a lot of the army here. Needs to be careful, though. TY has quite a bit of a tank count. And with those liberators, makes it very tough for ZEST to get in here. He is able to eliminate a good chunk of the Marines, but again, ZEST trying to find a position to actually come in on this. This looks like some High Templar wanting to go into the main, try to do a little bit of a drop pressure there. See the rocks being broken down for ZEST as he's just trying to open up these pathways. Comes in with the storms, able to pick off quite a bit of forces there. There we go. Alrighty, so Widowmine speed is on the way. +2 on the way for the Terran, and we have a 4th base on the way. Right, yeah, it's right there. See? Yeah, I mean, now we see TY trying to come across with a little bit of like counter pressure, but this is a huge zealot run by. So it's gonna do that much though. There's just so many tanks and stuff here. Another attack coming down at the bottom, so looks like he wants to split into TY from 2 different angles and just try to overrun TY. He is losing a couple of probes to this Liberator. Eventually we'll be able to take care of it pretty easily. We see the Marines and stuff coming up towards the top, and it looks like now ZEST wants to push into this. He's going to force the Marines and Marauders out of position. Tanks coming down to the low ground. This is actually opening up this top area as another base is being taken. Oh man. Here we come. Stalker's going to get in here. Guardian Shield's going to go down. Behind this, we do have the War Prism. It is very low, so he's got to be careful. The blink forward on top of the tanks. Storms are going to go down. Guardian Shield comes down as well. Going to force the Marines back, taking a huge blunt of the force. But somehow TY survives this. And now with the Zealots coming through behind this huge shutdown of the War Prism, and ZEST in a lot of trouble now. I mean, he still has this 5th base, excuse me, and he's going to be able to start rebuilding some of this, but we see ZEST just, I don't know, how do you combat this? A lot of the units, though, here for TY are low. A single medevac can't heal an army very quickly. Here we go, Stalker's getting on top of it. Their tank recount, tanks have been reset. Able to kill off a few more SCVs. Yes, that's just continuing to try to find some avenue to attack. He's got pretty heavy count into the Zealots, but now tanks starting to get back up there. 6 tanks altogether, 44 Marines. He is going to start adding on Ghosts to this as well. Even adding on additional CCs to get the money rolling. It's a huge number of Zealots. 23 Zealots. Oh my goodness. Archons on the way. Disruptors are going to be coming through as well. And that could be exactly what ZEST needs to push through here. These tanks are on siege though. The War Prism. And there we go. More Marines coming across. And yeah, looks like TY now going to start pushing in to the top. All the Marines have been healed up, so they're no longer low, but going to try to get a nice surround on the army of TY, actually eliminating a good chunk of it for having to back up as he takes a 6th base behind this. TY is somewhat playing defensive, and he has to, right? He is getting up a good ghost count, though. He's at 6 ghosts. Here come the disruptors. Gonna get on top of the tanks. It's not gonna be enough, though. I'm gonna start forcing back, and I start worrying here for ZEST. I mean, he needs to find some solution to this. Tanks are gonna re-siege, and eventually he is gonna have to back up. Yeah, I mean, ZEST just trying to find out how to attack, but by this point now, TY has a pretty good lockdown on the system. Does have those high Templars, so there is that possibility of doing something with this. Here we go, ZEST coming up to the top, gonna force a re-siege of TY's army as he comes in. EMPs are good, forcing that out, and now we're going to start seeing TY push across the map up towards the 4th base location. Gets a couple. Actually, this 5th base is going to go down. Is he going to be able to kind of cut this off, though? I think he is. Carriers are on the way, though. He is sitting at 4 carriers, more on the way. Finally getting +1, trying to chrono it out as best as possible. And is that really going to be the solution here? I mean, he has a pretty good strong force on the ground, but maybe that's what he needs, especially with all of the tanks. Automatically, though, we see TY throwing turrets down everywhere. He's got nukes on the way. Oh, I thought that said 7 carriers. I was like, he's making 7 carriers at a time, guys. That is insane. He's only got 4 Stargates, but no 5. He's got 5. He's got enough to make 5 at a time. But both players are now maxed out. You see the carriers finally coming in here. Storm's going to go down on a lot of these Marines, actually eliminating a lot of the potential here. Zest's going to have to return back home. Zealot's going to start taking out the sensor towers, starting to get on top of the tanks. Trying to clear everything up. We do actually see ZEST pulling back now, though, and TY starting to get, I was gonna say starting to get a little low. Oh no. No, not the carrier. 5 probes to get killed off. And yeah, I mean, ZEST in an okay position. He does have a pretty good army, though, all things considered. But you see the Zealots coming back in as turrets are going up everywhere. APs go off. A lot of the carriers now do not have armor. 6 more SCVs go down, and we're finally starting to see TY kind of push across. He's playing this very kind of defensive style, and I think against this army, you kind of have to, right? Looking at the bases, 0 out of 4 is 2, 6, 10, 16, 16. So we still got a pretty good force. Zealots are going to get into the natural, kill off 7 more SCVs, kill off a few Marines, and I don't know who wins this. Both players are floating quite heavily here. Carriers going out everywhere. TY still going up to the top to try to attack again. There is some big warping of stalkers though, and with the oh no, adding on the additional gateways, but with the nuke will be going down. It's a nice kill. 8 probes. EMPs going off onto the carriers. One-shotting these carriers. Insane. TY finally starting to push up to the top of the map. Same time, looks like he might want to go down to the bottom. Beautiful EMP is going to go off. Fortunately, the stalker is not going to get too much done. Zealots are going to come over here, however, but with the planetary fortresses. Gets cleaned up pretty easily. It does still have High Templar. Trying to rebuild some of the shields being taken off here. See his eyes. Alrighty, stalkers coming in, gonna blink forward, trying to get on top of the Vikings here, but with the MPs and everything, definitely gonna be pushing ZEST back. He does now have the mothership to help with this, and he's killing off a couple of tanks, but there we go. Gonna push right on top of the tanks as best as possible. Here comes everything. Storm's gonna go down on a lot of this army. There's just so many Vikings here for the Terran as he's able to take care of all of the carriers. Zealots coming in, but there's just not enough Protoss here, or is there? No, there's not. I don't know. Ghosts do go down. There's just so many missile turrets here. Scan does go down, sees that the top base is going, just kind of seeing where ZEST is in this game. Eventually he's gonna have to back up, but I don't know. Another nuke. Ah, 21 probes do go down. That's really gonna start hurting ZEST. He's only at 40 probes now to the 72 here of TY. As we get into this late game, it becomes more and more apparent who might end up getting this, as we see TY has just more money to spend. He has more stuff, but is now maxed out once again. As we see ZEST just trying to pull apart. and deal with this. Oh yeah, gets inside the tank fire, will be pushed back once again. TY, I mean, can he really push out here? No, I don't think so. I think he has to play this kind of defensive style. He's going to lose the planetary fortress. Finally, the tanks will go down. EMP is going to go off on a lot of the army here for the Protoss. As Terran still sitting back, the tanks dealing damage. A lot of these units are starting to get very low, though. Another good EMP goes off. Even a nuke going off on top of this army. ZEST is starting to push forth, starting to pull through. Gotta look at the unit count. We got a nuke coming through. Looks like he canceled it out. 6 tanks, 17 marauders. So we got 14 ghosts. So we've got snipes for days. Just one single High Templar right now. Just trying to make some more Archons, but the thing right now is like TY has such a bank that he can remake this army again and again. He's been sitting at max out for a while, while ZEST is very low on money. He just cannot replenish like TY can. EAPs go out on everything. Tanks just getting so many pot shots off. GG. And we see TY going to match points. GG's. All right. So, game number 5 going to TY. Long series. Wow. So we are going to go to potentially the final match. It's going to be on Death Aura. And if somehow ZEST is able to win this, we will end up on the final map of Oxide. Now, does TY try to risk it for the biscuit and go for a cheese and try to end him quick and early? You know, maybe like a proxy Reaper or something. Or do you just keep playing standard against TY? Excuse me, against ZEST. We will find out here at TY versus ZEST. Game number 6. Let's get it going. Alrighty, without further ado, here in the top left-hand corner of the map, playing as the blue Terran pieces, give it up, it is TY. And in the bottom right, in the red, playing as the Protoss pieces, give it up from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is ZEST. Right, there we go. So, game number 6. Oh man, it has been a long series, but it has been such a good one indeed. Both players have been playing so well and are so evenly matched. So I'm excited to see kind of how this series concludes. And if we get into game number 7. So, TY gonna be opening up that standard kind of, you know, 1 racks into gas. On the other side, we see ZEST just going for that gateway into Cybernetics core, and then we'll eventually expand. Now, we've seen ZEST go for, you know, Stargates. We've seen him go into, you know, Immortals. We've seen him go into basically everything at this point. Game number 6, do you go for your standard? Do you say, okay, let's go, you know, Blink Stalker? You know, what's the map say? The map says You know what? You can blink up here if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. Because if you don't blink, you don't really... I don't know. So, where do we see ZEST go from here? He's going into a depths, which we've seen him do basically every game. He can definitely still go into Stargate play. You know, he's had some luck with the oracles, and it is going to be Stargate. He's had luck with oracles. Maybe go into void rays. He's had some luck with disruptors. We'll see.
Game paused.
ZEST having some more lag issues here, so we'll give him just a moment to kind of get built back up here. So yeah, I'm excited. I wonder what he does though. You know, he's gonna go into the Stargate play, and he has been going into that kind of like 3 oracles. You know, add on a couple of Phoenix, and then keep on going from there. So maybe we see that again coming from him, and you know, it has worked for him. Okay, looks like he is good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and jump back into it, and we will go.
Game resumed.
All right, so as we get back into the series, we see TY going into this 1-1-1. Now, we have seen the different styles that TY have been bringing, right? We've seen him go into this 3 racks. We've seen him go into the 1-1-1. It is going to be a more quote-unquote standard style, right? Getting those Marines out, getting a handful of mines, whether it be 2 or 3, going across with the medevac, and then just continuing on the pressure. Now, because we do see the Widow Mines coming out from TY, he's actually already put them in kind of a good position for the Oracle that's coming across the map. Marines making their way across the map actually will run into the Oracle as it goes into the main base. Widow Mines are in position, so should be okay. He's able to get 4 kills. Not bad. Getting out just in time. We do see the Marines up in the front while there is the Widow Mines coming in for the Terran down here as well. Yeah. Red Blade does go down on the Widow Mine, able to clear it up pretty quickly. And I think he kills off the Adepts, but eventually these Stalkers will go ahead and push this back. The Oracle's in the back, just in case he needs it. Eventually it will get pushed back. Now, we do see tanks on the way. We see Vikings, as it looks like. Ooh, even a Cyclone. As it looks like TY wants to keep putting pressure onto this 3rd base, wanting to end this as quickly as possible. Tank in position as he's going to start focusing this down. Now on the other side of the map, we do have those double oracles coming through, so we're going to keep an eye on them as well. So they do finally kind of fly in here. We're going to start working on the SCVs, and at the same time, base does go down, as it is going to be a Void Ray follow-up. Twilight Council on the way. These oracles do eventually fall after getting 6 kills. It's not terrible, I guess. New 3rd base going to be taken up here for ZEST, so both players really trading efficiently. We look at the units lost, pretty much even up. So, Marines in the tank will return back home behind it. We do see the Terran going into that Raven Tech and adding on more barracks, just getting himself ready for the that kind of mass Marine Marauder push. He's got the double cyclones for the air. Going into a robotics facility on the Protoss side. This has charge +1 on the way. Adding on another Nexus. They're going to be going up to 4 bases. To the Terrans, only like 2 base, 3 base. It's not bad, not bad. Again, we see that heavy Marine count coming out from TY. And from here, Stim on the way for the Terran. He is going to start adding on those engineering base, allowing him to get those upgrades going +1 and such, and preparing for basically a 1-1 Stim timing. He is going to start flying out with the Marines. He's got the tanks going in position for a defense. And yeah, I mean, he's waiting for Stim. He's got combat shields coming out. We'll eventually get the upgrades. Yeah, looking good. Zest on the other side, just getting kind of the same composition really that he has had this whole series, right? He's gone into this very heavy Zealot style, adding on the Stalkers, getting High Templar Archons, and getting the War Prism. So we do see him pushing out a little bit, moving around, just trying to keep active on the map. Yeah, Stim finishing up. Blink almost done for the Protoss. And just more Widow Mines going away from the tanks, back into Widow Mines, realizing that kind of heavy Zealot style. And here we go. Zest coming to push in, has a huge chunk of Zealots, and now he's pulled the trigger. The Zealots getting on top with the charge. Ravens, not enough energy as we see one of the tanks do go down. The Cyclones helping out the Vikings coming in to shut down the Void Ray. And TY holding on as Zest has to pull back. Warping in some more units. He does have that Archon in effect. He has Storm on the way behind this, but with +1 about finish up, and these Cyclones playing a good part. The air of Zest is shut down. Just going to continue to push onto this. Blinking forward, we'll be able to pick off one of the Cyclones. The second Cyclone getting very low. And there we go. Looks like Zest going to push back at the same time, though. The War Prism coming in with some Zealots. Not able to get a whole lot done, and the Vikings and everything shutting down the War Prism. Zest looking to be in a little bit of trouble. He is still ahead, or he was. His army supply isn't that great, but his worker count is all right, so he has enough here to replenish what he's lost. While Zest, you know, it's still kind of floating, at least mineral heavy wise. Storm finishing up now. Concussive shells is done as well. Forges are on the way for some more upgrades. So he starts +2. And yeah, I mean, this is a thing that we need to talk about. Like, this whole series, Zest has lost so many War Prisms. He really has. He keeps trying to put them in this like position to do damage, but he keeps getting countered. He is going to be able to get the cancel. Widow Mines do go down. It looks like Zest is trying to get over eager here. Huge Widow Mine shots as a lot of the Zealots do go down. Trying to get on top of this army. This Stalker is going to blink in. There's no tanks here. Has Zest done it here? Stalker's getting us around onto the SCVs. At the same time, though, another attack going into the natural, getting on top of the probes here of Zest. As we get into this little bit of an attack, once again, the Zealots trying to get on top of all of these SCVs, killing off 36 SCVs. Finally, the TY going to have to back up as the defense is going to be too good here for Zest. But the onslaught across the map is still continuing, moving the barracks up and out. TY definitely in trouble as Zest looks to equalize. and bring this to a game of 7. Zest at 174 to 83 here up TY. Are we going to have a final match? It looks like that is going to be the case. Anti-armor missiles do go off, but when you don't have an army there, it's not going to really matter. Watermine shots go off again, and GG's. As Zest ties things up, and we go to an ace match. All right. There we go. Cool. So, the final map going to be on Oxide. Gonna be a crazy one. Man, Zest just pulling the trigger like crazy there. We haven't seen that kind of Zest this whole series. It feels like he's been very passive. He's been very kind of sat back, but that time he was just non-stop aggression. There we go. Countdown has begun for the final game. Get excited, get hype. In the chat, I want to hear, who do you think's gonna win? Who's gonna take it? Zest, TY, who's your favorite to win as we get into the final series? Let's go. Alrighty. Without further ado, here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, playing as the Terran pieces. Give it up. It is TY. And the top right in the red, playing as the Protoss pieces. Give it up. It is Zest. Alrighty, it all comes down to Oxide, as both of these players have been fighting vigorously, been fighting non-stop for the past 5-6 hours now. Both players feeling the worn-torn, but it is not over yet as we see TY opening up into that single barracks into refinery. Both players opening up very similar, so no one getting cheeky, no one risking it, as they do want to play a more standard game. Now, TY did a very interesting build in that previous series, and I'm interested to see how this next game goes. Does he keep that same kind of style, right? The Marines with the tanks going into with their pressure, and then eventually with the, everything. Zest played a very aggressive that game, going around scouting. He wants to make sure I do not lose to a sneaky cheese. He doesn't smell the cheddar, but he wants some of the Gouda. The TY comes in, sees that there is an expansion, goes ahead and backs out. A pylon proxied in the location of the whatever base. 3 o'clock location. And we see both players playing very cautiously. It's going to be a Twilight Council opening from Zest. He's got the first stalker on the way. TY switching it over, gonna go into Hellions. Oh wow, they're right on top of each other. They've fused Dragon Ball Z style fusion into a Ferox or a Bactery. I don't know what you want to call it. That's actually kind of cool. So, Starport is going to be proxied. It is going to be a Hellion drop. We've seen TY this whole series, this whole day against Protoss. He has done this build of, hey, I've got 2 Hellions. I'm going for a Widowmine drop. We've seen ZEST stop that build. He sees the 2 Hellions. He says, you know what? He is going into a medevac drop of mines. This game, though, it is going to be a mine drop, or a Hellion drop. Is this going to be enough? There is only a single stalker here. 2 stalkers for the Protoss. TY coming in with the Hellions. 4 probe kills, 5 probe kills, 6 probe kills, picks up the Hellions, goes into the natural, looking to get some more kills. TY hungry for blood, killing off 10, 11 probes. What a start coming out here from TY. We look at the units lost tab, definitely in favor here of TY. He adds on those additional barracks as the starport returns back home. Now, ZEST going to counterattack. He's going to send those 6 stalkers across the map. He has a warp prism out. He is going full hog on this. Blinks forward. Blink is done, folks. Automatically, we have depots down, trying to get in a good position. Tank is out to help deal with this, as ZEST wants to get on top of this. And there we go. Alright, able to kill off a couple of SCVs. Will eventually have to move back as the tank does siege up onto the low ground. There we go. Stalkers adding on. Additional depots trying to go out. Another tank does come out, solidifying this a little bit more. ZEST comes through with the War Prism just to kind of see where everything is at. Maybe try to throw TY off a little bit. Does end up getting the second bunker though, and pulls back. He hasn't really lost that much, so he should be more than okay. There we go, continuing to try to push on to the CC. One of the tanks does unsiege, moving forward just a little bit, will actually force ZEST back once again, but this is forcing TY in a very defensive position behind this. He's getting more gateways. No, he's not. He's getting a robotics bay. He's getting a forge. He is continuing to put on the pressure. And there we go. All right, so ZEST trying to find an entry into TY, but at this point TY has himself a pretty solid defense. He's adding on a 3rd base, switching around his, barracks, his factory, and all of that. There we go, ZEST throwing down another nexus behind this. He is adding on those additional gateways. Finally going to go into Colossus behind this. Interesting choice with charge and +1. Stalkers coming in once again. Not really getting that much done now. And yeah, I mean, he's just keeping the pressure up. A lot of these stalkers are starting to get low though, so he has to be careful. But all of the tanks now starting to move out as TY looks to push across the map. Is this the push that's going to win it for TY, or will ZEST stop it and start making a push of his own for the victory? Now there's nothing at home really to defend, so ZEST's going to come in with these stalkers once again, start shooting on everything. Scans into the natural, sees the robotics bay, and knows he has a little bit of a timing window. Picking up the Widow Mines and moving across the map. Now, Zest does not know this is going on. He does not see it, so. Zest coming back with the War Prism, though, and now TY giving chase to the Stalkers. Colossus are going to be coming in here as well as those sentries try to start, breaking this stuff up. Now that's a big problem here for TY, as his army is very heavy into a marine composition, but it looks like he's going to get right on top of it. All the tanks do go down. The Colossus still stands as more Stalkers do get into the mix. Eventually that Colossus will fall. He gets on top of the medevac, end up backing up, and TY looking very strong as he takes his third base. He's got tanks still coming through. He's going into Vikings. He's got Marauders. He's got Marines. He's got everything he really needs in looking to push. So, fourth base is now down for Zest behind us, as he is starting to build up more forces. He does have +2 on the way, as well as a new forge, or excuse me, a new warp prism. Adding on those additional Colossus. And yeah, I mean, what do you do as Zest? I mean, maybe you go into Mass Zealot again? We'll see. Zest pushing out with just a small force of units. He's going to get a little bit of an attack and scout it out of that fourth base, but with the add-in of the Zealot, it's going to be more than okay. But now with Charge done, with Blink done, with +1 and extended Thermal Lance, is this the key that Zest needs? Looking at the supply, TY is on 100 supply, basically to 69 of Zest. And the thing is he's only got 4 medevacs. The rest of it's in Marines, Marauders, and tanks. And now we start seeing TY playing that defensive game. Find out Zest coming in with a single Zealot. We'll see the army moving through. Zest regrouping his army. There are now Liberators in position. Sensor towers going down, as well as an armory for a follow-up. Finally, we are going to see another eBay coming through. And TY just looking really, really good right now. 5 probes do fall. At the robotics facility, do we see the tech switch into disruptors? Zest has had some luck with it, but will he have enough here? Another pause coming out from Zest. Seems to be having some lag, so we will see how things go with that, see what's going on. Definitely a tense situation, the final game. What could be a final fight very quickly. And all of that. So we'll see what's going on here with Zest. He hasn't really said anything, so we don't know, but trying to think as how things stand, what can Zest really do? He is going to go, I think, potentially into disruptors. He's had some success with that. Maybe he does something like that. But we definitely see Zest playing it in a patient game, right? He's poking in, he's pulling out. So should be good. See kind of what's going on here with Zest. Okay, looks like he is ready to go. So we'll go ahead and jump back into the game, guys.
Game resumed.
There we go. Alrighty. So, Nexus is going to be coming down for ZEST behind this. He is clearing out some of the rocks, just trying to get a little bit of a more straight pathway for some of his army, as well as if he wants to take an engagement or he needs to as a defense, he's going to be able to. He even takes another base behind this, so just trying to expand as much as possible. Stalkers once again just poking in before moving out, and we see more CCs being put down for the Blue Terran. Alright, it looks like ZEST wants to go for maybe a sandwich here. He is coming in with a couple of zealots. Will get pushed back. Has the DT shrine, and he is going to be going into Blink. He's actually about halfway done with it. Could that be the answer? He comes in and sees that there's no detection here. There is one right here, but scan sees the army coming in. Zealots looking for another run by. Do end up pushing themselves back. Really just trying to force TY out of a position. Really is playing a smart game here. TY is in a defensive position. He has to hold here as ZEST looking to go 3 different sides. Okay, that's deciding to pull back. He is going pretty heavy into DTs. Blink is now done. He's at 7 DTs. Another attack down here at the bottom, able to kill off a little bit, and it will back up once again. +3 is 10 seconds away from being done for ZEST, and I think that's when he wants to kind of pull the trigger here. You see him poking in to the right where all the tanks and stuff are. Here come the zealots. A scan does go down, sees the DTs, will eventually back up. The stalkers looking to get on top of it. Re-siege of the tanks. A couple of EMPs will go off onto this army, looking beautiful as always, as another warp-in of zealots come in. Actually kills the warp prism. Huge pick off there from TY. The EMPs getting on top of all of the zealots and the DTs that were there. And again, ZEST losing an important warp-in. Blinking forward with the DTs and picking off as many units as he can. But these EMPs are just too good from TY. He's once again going to defend. In a sense, he's having to play this kind of turtley style. Backing up. We do see ZEST once again trying to come up to the top here. There is a single tank. Gonna get right on top of it, forcing a re-siege. +3 is on the way for the Terran. So ZEST ahead of upgrades for the moment. With these additional tanks coming in though, it's gonna be tough. You see the DTs in the back. So another scan does go down. Trying to force a bad engagement for TY as best as possible. And yeah, ZEST needs to figure something out here. He's going to go ahead and pull the trigger. EMPs do go off, blinking forward with those DTs. The tanks though going to force this all back. And ZEST just cannot find himself a position inside this. And this could be the final kind of bout here. As all of the zealots starting to get on top of this army, pulling back. EMPs do go off and melting the zealots. And the tanks still remain. ZEST at 102 supply to 184. He still has a pretty good bank, but he needs to be careful. He does have 2 warp prisms though. That's awesome. He's making double war prisms just to make sure that he can get those additional warp ins going on 2 different sides. Nukes now into play, going for this bottom base. And ZEST, I mean, trying as he might, but right now, TY just in too good of a position. At this point, TY can just make all of his money rain from the heavens in the form of nukes. Some DTs coming out for the Protoss. Stimming down. Looks like the DTs will be able to get on top of a lot of this army. A nice pick off there from ZEST. He needs to get on top of these ghosts. Another army for ZEST over at the bottom. Can he get on top of the tanks? Oh, that could be a huge pick off. No. Decides to pull back. He's trying to regroup himself. Trying to go for another attack, but what will he be able to do? Finally, the tanks do see job. Other good EMPs go off. This bottom base does end up falling. 9 SCVs fall to it as well. And yeah, I mean, both players are floating a little bit here, but ZEST just cannot find a way in. Oh no, this could be it. No. Decides not to. A lot of his stalkers are very low, just 1 or 2 tank shots, and it will end up falling. Another scan does go down. Okay. There we go. Another EMP, resetting the count here, and this gives a good opportunity for TY. Actually, gonna nuke another base. Linking forward, gonna be able to get on one of the tanks, looking to shut this base down. Guardian Shield does go down, but is it gonna be enough? It is. He's gonna be able to kill off the base. Looking like he's gonna go overextend at this point. Yeah, he's throwing it in. 18 probes do fall up here to the base, and ZEST struggling. He is able to at least kill off one of the bases. Instantly gets replaced though. 24 SCVs fall, 18 for ZEST. ZEST is ahead here though. DT is trying to get on top over here, but not able to do it as the planetary fortress does shut things down. ZEST starting to run out of money. He's out of minerals there. He's only got a 2 there. 10. 12. Yep. Can't even get on top of the tanks at this point. They do have +2 with +3. +3 is not on the way. Just now, a Templar Archives is being thrown down. Wait, he already has a Templar Archive. No. So just not going to be able to get stormed, but I think it's a little too late. Yeah. Archon's getting morphed in up here. Nice little attack down here as well, but just too well fortified. Here comes another nuke. GG's. And TY is the winner.